Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sacred Pearl podcast with myself, Reverend Arlene. I wasn't really planning on making a video today, but not that I ever really plan when I'm going to make a video. So what was interesting is the information coming through today, and I was debating whether just making it a regular video or part of the podcast, and I kept feeling like it was probably better to make it as part of the podcast. So there's this it's always unique energy now. Like, it's just, that's all there is. Like, the energy is consistently amplified. It is consistently heavy in the work, heavy in the, what's the word I'm looking for? That unforgiving energy, as I've said in so many videos and posts, right? It's just very unforgiving right now. And again, it's not to like scare us or put us in fear. That is not what this is about. It is about that energy of, when I say about unforgiving, it is because there's nowhere to run right now. There's nowhere to hide. You can no longer be in a space of denial, which is huge, right? And I said before, it's this energy of you can't lie to yourself anymore. There is no room for that. There is no room in trying to convince yourself of something that isn't. And I feel right now, I don't like using the word boundaries, because I feel like, why does it have to be called boundaries, right? It's more of this energy of you recognizing, I don't even know if worth is the right word either, but it's more about you having respect for yourself, having that respect for your time, for your energy, for what you give out. And especially for those who are in this work of service, what ends up happening a lot is those that you are in service to, this is not going to be a popular, anyways, but I just got to say it, right? Because like I said, I just do what God tells me to. So what is being told is that what is tending to happen, and it's also because so many are in this chaotic type of energy. They feel so uncomfortable where they are. There is this heightened sense of fear and anxiety taking place within so many. And, so they feel so out of sorts. So then they tend to gravitate more to those who are in service, who then they feel is going to save them or going to just make them feel better, right? So it's almost like, in very many ways, it's like these people who are in service become this crutch for people, almost like an addiction in a way too, because you're craving that sense you feel after being in the presence of that person, right? And yes, there's a level of that is very sweet, and it is in some ways like a compliment that, that you feel that sense of safety in their space. But it is also understanding that the person of service is not here to save you. They're only here to hold space and be a reflection back to you, right? To be that mirror back to you of what you have within you as well. That's the only reason why you're also attracted to the energy of that person, because they are a reflection of who you are. But maybe you haven't fully grasped that yet, or you're still struggling with that self-worth and breaking through the patterns of old programs. So then what ends up happening is, people are again, it's a human trait where you get so wrapped up in your own bubble, you can't see outside your bubble, right? It's like the world revolves around you in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, as much as maybe, again, you don't want to admit that to yourself, but that's basically what it is. It's just you can't see outside of the chaos that you're in. So it's just like, oh my God, I need help now, right? And so with that, what ends up happening is you have this need for that person, for those in service, so that then in the end, you forget that, hey, they're human too. And it takes a lot of work for them every day to show up in that level of frequency and energy to be able to support those they are in service to, right? It's not just, boom, they wake out of bed that way. No, this is a daily practice that we go through so that we can be of service, right? And so we need our downtime. We need that level of respect as well. And and not generosity in the sense of like fees, like I'm not talking generosity in the sense of money, but that generosity of understanding that this takes a lot out of us physically and emotionally to constantly be in that, like I said, frequency and energy. And, it's a conscious choice that we make every day. It is constantly us also working with God, talking to God, talking down our own programs, right? Because again, when we are in this service, we experience it in other ways too, so that then we can show up to be of service for others. So we will experience it in other ways so that we can transmute it, work through it, so that then we can share in those experiences and support those. So, it's a lot of work for us too. So when people come demanding and not being, respectful of what it takes to show up and what it takes to be of service, it is in a way very disheartening, right? And it's like, and again, it's like, we have this love and this like level of immense love and compassion for those in our community, in our world, right, that come to us, and we are so grateful for them and we love them so compassionately. But it is a lot, and sometimes it can be disheartening that some people just expect you to be available like a 7-Eleven convenience store. That's not how it works. We physically can't do that. We need so much to keep our light body activated. And that's what I feel too is coming with this energy right now of not just for us in service, but for everyone. You are really being called to understand respect, and the respect for yourself, respect for others, and how you're going to show up for yourself in this world, in this time right now, because there is so much collapse happening all around us. So many things are falling away because they can't handle being in this paradigm of energy right now. We're noticing, and you're going to start noticing more and more, these shifts of collapse in the medical, things to do with medicine, the pharmaceutical, just work industry in general. Like, I don't even know what to, in just that field in general. We're noticing it in everything. People are getting tired of celebrities and all that crap. Like, it's just whatever. It's just not important, because what's a celebrity going to do for us? We need to support ourselves, right? We need to work on ourselves and bring happiness within ourselves, because it's an inside job. Always is. Always has been. Always will be. Right? We teach people how to treat us. So, because we allow things to keep happening and we don't have that respect for ourselves. And in turn, again, it also brings in that level of abandonment, because we're abandoning ourselves because we're abandoning our needs and what we need to be able to survive, not even just survive, but to flourish in this life. So I feel like that is very much what this energy is right now. Again, it is bringing even more awareness. It's unfolding more and more so that we can work within ourselves, so that we have that respect for ourselves and respect for others. So we understand others' time is just as valuable as our time, and that no one owes us anything. The world doesn't owe you. You owe yourself, right? And it's understanding that everyone is here at their own pace, and that in the end, as always, the accountability is back on you. The responsibility is back on you. And we're in a world right now, like I said, that so many are feeling so displaced that they're gravitating to anything to make them feel less unsettled, to feel some sense of control, so that they give themselves that false illusion of feeling safe, right? Where you are safe, God has you. But again, it's the human in us that gets so attached to everything that we don't know how to be without those labels and identities and possessions and all these things, instead of just surrendering and understanding that what is meant for you is there. You can't lose what is meant for you. And if these other things get displaced, it's because they weren't meant for you. They were just there for a time until you were ready to really open up and see what is really valuable, what actually means and holds weight. We're holding on to things that just don't matter. We dwell on things that just don't matter. Imagine if you actually gave attention to what matters, which is you. Freeing up all the gunk that's inside, all the cobwebs and the heavy stones that are in us. Imagine what it feels like to be free within your own mind. That's what this energy is trying, working so diligently hard to bring forward. No more. There's no more of saying yes when you mean no. There's no more of, oh, okay, I'll let it pass this time. No, you've let it pass way too many times. You've given people opportunity. You've been compassionate. When are you going to start being compassionate with yourself? When are you going to start understanding that sometimes you need to say no? Like yesterday, for example, and it was interesting because I didn't realize how much of a trigger it was. But it's interesting. I wasn't even thinking about bringing this up, and now it just came to me. I'm like, okay, so clearly I need to share it. So yesterday, I really needed a day of just as much solitude and isolation as possible. And I just needed a day of, like, honestly, it was weird. And for anybody who knows my life and with my boys and my mom and stuff like that, you know, I am in constant service to them, right? But, and so, like, I'm always, like, on the go, right? It's, the joke is, like, I'm like City Pulse, I'm everywhere, right? But yesterday, I'm just, like, I couldn't. Like, I ignored phone calls, text messages, everything. Like, I just needed to be in bed. And sometimes I would fall asleep. And sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes it was just laying there. I did get an opportunity to maybe go for a walk, but again, that was just for me because I couldn't look at my phone, not really anything. Like, I needed that time for me. And I knew this mentally. I knew. And I knew I needed to do this for me because my body, it just couldn't anymore. I wasn't in balance. I wasn't in moderation of how much I give to people I love, right? And even to strangers that I love. Like, I'm just in that, like I said, I'm in service. But my body was just like, well, that's beautiful that your spirit is in service, Arlene, but your body is human and it needs to rest. Like, massive rest, massive reset. It was nuts. Like, I spent, like I said, I was in and out of bed all day yesterday, and very rare was I out of bed. And if I was out of bed, I was like reading or listening to a podcast or something that was uplifting and had that spiritual, it's like it fed my soul. It fed my spirit, not my soul, because my soul has everything. My spirit, which is connected to the human. So my spirit, it fed my spirit. And those are kind of like podcasts and stuff I was listening to and just reading when I could. And then eventually it was just like, yeah, no, I gotta go lay down again because, again, I'm being reset and going through these crazy shifts and integrations, right? But what was interesting was, the human struggled. Like, oh my gosh, I was severely being triggered by all these beliefs of like, oh my gosh, like of shame and guilt for not replying to people, not answering text messages, taking that time for myself. It's like, wow. Like, wow, Arlene, I did not realize, like, I knew I had probably, like, still levels of people pleaser in me, but that was intense yesterday. Like, it was intense. Like, I had to do so much self-talk yesterday and so much breathing work so that I could just be and listen to what I needed, what I really, really needed. And I was just like, they will have to understand. I can't be everything all the time. I just can't. And like I said, and eventually, clearly, almost near the end of the day, I was okay again, right? But again, it was earlier, but still, like, off and on. But yeah, like, wow. Just, and like, almost the habit of things, right? Like, oh, I gotta call this person now. Oh, I gotta do this, right? Because it's part of the habit, right? It's part of the routine of the things I do and the life I live, right? So it's like, oh, I better, respond to this person, or I better call this person because I haven't talked to them yet. And I'm just like, no, I can't. And anytime I almost thought about it or went to go do it, I would get physically sick. So again, it was just like, okay, God, I'm listening. I am listening. I am sorry. I'm listening now. I'll be obedient. I will listen, right? Like, I'll be extra obedient. And that's what I did. It's just like, no, I just can't. And I just kept feeding what my spirit needed. And I am so grateful for that today, because even though, yes, I'm still feeling somewhat tired today, but I'm in a lot better space than I was yesterday. Like, at least I can get up and do things. I had to go to I had an appointment this morning at the dentist and everything, and did some other things, and I was able to do that. And I'm so grateful for that. And I was just like, wow. And I'm so grateful for the lesson I learned yesterday, and being able to recognize that massive trigger that I felt and just how it felt in my body. Like, it was just massive. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just wild. And I was just like, wow. Look what you've done to yourself. Look at the things you still hold on to. And and just not wanting to upset people, and worrying so much. I'm like, no, I can't. Why is it okay for everyone else to take hours or days to respond, but not me? Why do I have to be available the minute my phone goes off? I don't need to. It's not life or death situations. And half the time, majority of the time, if it is one of those life or death situations, there's probably a good chance that I still can't do anything. Call the police, call the ambulance. They are the ones who can help you, not me. What am I going to do? That's not my scope of practice. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, and these are the things that this energy is bringing up. What also are you laying yourself responsible for when it's not your responsibility? There's that. There are things that are your responsibility, and yes, that's what a lot of this energy is too. It's understanding where is your responsibility, where's your accountability, but then also too, what are you taking on that isn't yours? Why does it have to be you? And again, we are not here to save other people. I'm going to leave that here. Surrounding you all in love. You are all so amazing. I am so grateful for you. I appreciate you so very much. And I'll leave that here. Like I said, it's a lot of information. Just please be compassionate with yourself as you are navigating these energies, these demands that your spirit is bringing forward so that you can be in alignment with your soul. And this is to support you. This is happening for you, not to you. Please remember that. Hold on, I'm going to have to pause this for a second so I can find what I'm looking for. As I said, I only do what I'm guided to do. And so I felt the need to share this prayer. And so take what resonates, keep it within you if you'd like. If not, then it's just not for you. But how can God not be for everyone? But anyways, here we go. As I arise today, may the strength of God pilot me, the power of God uphold me, the wisdom of God guide me. May the eye of God look before me, the ear of God hear me, the word of God speak for me. May the hand of God protect me, the way of God lie before me, the shield of God defend me, the host of God save me. May Christ shield me today, Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left, Christ when I lie down, Christ when I sit, Christ when I stand, Christ in the heart of everyone who thinks of me, Christ in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me, Christ in the eye that sees me, Christ in every ear that hears me. Amen.